Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Harrisonville Board of Aldermen to order. Would you stand and say the pledge with us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Alderman Mildred.
Present.
Alderman Dickerson. Present. Alderman Turner. Present. Alderman Miller.
Present.
Alderman Reeves.
Present.
Alderman Davidson.
Present.
Alderman Dorhoff.
Present.
Alderman Bachman. Absent. And Mayor Bowman.
Present. Thank you. We do have a quorum. We don't have any ceremonial matters tonight, so we'll move to public participation. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to the board? Please make your way to the podium. And state your name and address for the clerk.
Kevin Meyer, 2617, Johnson. Been a couple of years.
Good evening.
Good evening. Elected officials, I wanted to make a couple of comments. I don't know where you are in your process, but as a Ward 1 resident, I'm not pleased with the fact that we don't have full representation. We've not had full representation. Let me read something, and this applies to every one of you that is sitting there as an elected official. I, your name, do solemnly affirm that I possess all the qualifications prescribed for the office of Alderman of the City of Harrisonville. That I support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of the fourth class, and the ordinances of the City of Harrisonville. Now, the fourth class piece is real important because some of you, we don't have the right of recall petition. Third class does, charter does, but we don't. So we rely upon each of you sitting up here to police performance to make sure that everybody's doing their job. Now, I don't know what's been 39, 40 meetings we've had, and he's been at 4 of them. Is that doing the job? I don't think it is. We're in the process of electing a new city manager or hiring a new city manager. I have one representative, Mr. Davidson. Forgive me, you're a rookie. You've not been here 4 years. You don't have that experience yet. You'll get it and you're good. But my alderman here has the experience. He's been here enough years. He should be participating in this as well. And he's not. He's also getting paid, as far as I know, to the tune of $1,600. And he's been to 4 meetings. I don't know if a lot of the public understands that you get paid sitting up here. It's a job, you get paid. Don't get paid enough. Don't disagree. Understand. Been there, done that. So I can speak, yes. But again, budget dollars are tight. You pay an alderman that's doing the job, that's fine. But if they're not doing the job and they're on a salary, it's not acceptable, folks. I don't know where the vote's going to end. I really don't. My wife said, don't go up there. Don't make a sour grapes. Don't make a scene. But you know, it's time. The ordinances are clear. They tell you what your responsibilities are. They tell you how you react, how you're supposed to handle these situations. I think there's been a wealth of latitude given. And again, as apparently the only Ward 1 resident that can pay attention tonight, okay, again, I think you need to take this very seriously. You need to act upon it. And again, I want my full representation for my ward. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Meyer. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening?
Madam Mayor, I received a telephone call for public participation. They were not able to be here and asked me to make a couple of comments, and so I'm just
Okay.
making it real brief.
All right.
I received a phone call from John Foster.
Use your microphone.
I don't have his address. Mr. John Foster, you can probably get that. His comment was he was concerned about the hiring of a city manager, and he felt like that it should be done and participated by all 8 aldermen, and to include the 2 aldermen in Ward 1. And so he just asked that I mention that the hiring of a quote capable city manager was important, and that it should come from all 8 aldermen. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to the board this evening? If not, I'll close public participation, and I'll ask you at this time to please silence your cell phones. And we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. The minutes of the Board of Aldermen, the regular meeting, December 2nd, 2019. May I have a motion?
Make a motion?
Second.
A motion from Alderman Davidson with a second from Alderman Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. The minutes of the Board of Aldermen stand approved. We're removing item A from the agenda this evening. We'll move on to item B. The vehicle purchase for the police department. Mr. Tholen? No, Chief, sorry.
Sorry, I'll fill in. Mr. Fuller.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the Board of Aldermen. Before you tonight is a budget item that, I apologize for the delay, but we've been waiting for some funds to be transferred from the feds. This is from a vehicle, a forfeiture, a drug forfeiture that happened last year. We've had a lot of difficulties with getting the banks to agree, and the money is still not down. They tried again last Friday. We think we've got the routing figured out now, but what we're trying to do, like you did with the Parks Department back in April, is we'll go out to the local dealers, we'll figure out what vehicle best fits our needs within budget, within whatever is sent down from the feds. And once that happens, we would like to secure that vehicle as soon as possible. Most car dealers want to get that done in a timely fashion, not wait for a meeting, which could be upwards of 2 to 3 weeks away. So we would like the possibility to purchase that vehicle, or at least take it to Mr. Tholen, the purchase, and allow him to agree with that, make that happen.
Any questions for the chief?
Make a motion to move forward?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion from Alderman Milner with a second from Alderman Dorhoff to move forward with the purchase of a vehicle as the funds become available. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Council Bill 77.
House Bill 77 is a resolution of the Board of Aldermen authorizing the city administrator entering into an agreement with JCL Lee Summit to replace the attorney at Harrisonville wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $16,378 and establishing an effective date. First reading Council Bill 077. Did I read that wrong?
Yes,
yes.
Scum bump attorney. I'm sorry. That's a natural reaction.
Good evening, Mayor and Board.
Good evening, Mr. Patterson.
This is a pump in our aeration base, in our clarifier basins. Currently, these are positive displacement pumps, which are failing. They've been in for many, many years. They're about $30,000 a piece to replace. Our chief operator asked the question, well, why does it have to be this type of pump? The other plant he worked at used these other pumps, which are centrifugal pumps. They're a third the price or quarter of the price. They do require to be plumbed in a little different than what's there. We talked to our engineers, they said it should be fine. We received these 4 bids plus one, which we deemed non-responsive. It was deemed that because they barely had enough money in there to buy a pump, let alone any redoing the piping or labor. So we left them out. Both of our pumps are actually failing at this point. But we wanted to replace one of them, make sure there were no issues, and then sometime next year, replace the other one. JCI also does pump repair, so you'll probably hear me in the next year or two coming back with getting funds to repair pumps. Currently, we use Alliance, which is the second low bidder, and we've been displeased with them, and so this seems to be just working out well for us. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions.
Mayor. Is there any way to get a warranty rather than going back to JCI or Alliance? Can you get a warranty on this? I mean, you said next couple of years. I would think that it would be guaranteed for.
No. for other pump repairs.
Okay.
We have the Lions pump come in probably 2 or 3 times a year on different pumps between lift stations and the plant.
What's the warranty on the one we would be buying, you know?
2 years.
So is the plan to purchase the new pump, take the existing pump, send it out for repair and use it as a backup?
No, it will go away.
Okay.
Those pumps were put in when the plant was built. So
And forgive me, what was the date of that? What was the date of the plant?
I couldn't tell you exactly. It would have been somewhere probably in the 80s when that was built.
Oh.
So those pumps have both been pulled out and rebuilt multiple times in that time period. And the price to rebuild them, I think the last time was somewhere around 10,000. We can buy a new one of these for about 8.
Any other questions?
I make a motion to approve Council Bill 77.
Could I ask all the aldermen to pull your microphones down, please, and speak into the microphone? Thank you. Go ahead, Alderman.
I make a motion to approve Council Bill 77.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Davidson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Council Bill 77 is approved and becomes Resolution R047.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The write-off accounts for 2019, that would be Mr. Foley.
I guess the chief's not gonna bail me out on this one, so. At the end of the year, we typically go through a process of writing off, accounts receivable that are uncollectible. We have them in 3 different areas. We have, in emergency medical services, a community center, a small amount, and in utilities. In the EMS fund, we have a line item in our general operating budget for uncollectible accounts, because what we typically do is we charge the full amount, but Medicare will pay a certain amount and that's all they'll pay. And then, so we have to write down and write off things at the end of the year that are uncollectible. We also unfortunately have some people who have passed away and we don't pursue those, or sometimes we have transient people that we take care of, a wreck on the highway or something like that. We have, just for a variety of reasons, certain accounts are uncollectible. And so after a period of time, we come to the board with those and bundle them together. And we'll want to write down those groups. If we do have the opportunity at some later point, we can still collect on that if there becomes a way that could happen. It doesn't happen very often, but we don't just forget about them forever, but we don't charge them as a receivable on our books anymore. So that's what we're doing here. To a very small degree, we have a thing in the community center where we have some minor accounts that are uncollectible, but again, it's a cleanup at the end of the year. And then finally, in our utility billing process, we do have some accounts that even though we go through a collections type of process, we still don't end up with all of them. Those are the ones that we're most likely to find at some later date an opportunity to collect on, because some people will leave us with an account and it's been written off, and 6 years later they want to move back into town and establish service, and we'll say, great, first we need to talk about your old bill. But for the time being, we would regard those as an uncollectible account. We'd like the board's authority to write off, and then we'll make those year-end adjustments, and that's reflected in our audits at the end, all that kind of stuff. So we're recommending that these balances be approved.
I have a question. I didn't see the amount for the EMS write-offs.
The total amount that's on the second page is $71,828.
Thank you. I see it.
So
Mhm. See it now. Thank you.
You say 71 or 73?
I thought it was 73.49.
71.
That's on the utilities.
Oh.
71 is 2 paragraphs up.
I asked for EMS.
So do we go through a third-party collection agency that tries to?
We do have one, yes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Dickerson with a second from Alderman Milner to approve the 2019 write-off accounts receivable balances. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you, that passes then unanimously. Moving on to item E, to update authorized bank signatures. That would be you, Mr. Foley.
That would be me, and I believe the memo is pretty self-explanatory with a change in the staffing in the finance department. And we need to change our authorized signators at the bank. And we'll probably bring this back again when we do hire a new finance director, but in the interim, we still need to have authorized signatures. So we're authorizing the mayor, the city clerk, the accounting specialist, and the account clerk. So all of our signatures need at least two, so. That's our recommendation. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Tholen?
Move to approve?
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Milner with a second from Alderman Davidson to approve the update authorized bank signatures to include Judy Bowman, the mayor, Randy Jones, the city clerk, Kim Hubbard, the accounting specialist, and Amanda Williams, the account clerk. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Those updated bank signatures are approved. Moving on to Council Bill 78.
Council Bill 78 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 103, Administrative Section 103.010, Personal Rules and Regulations, establishing and approving the additional holiday for the personnel policy for the city of Harrisonville, Missouri, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Tholen.
Thank you. When the board approved the budget for 2020, included in that was the approval of recognition of the third Monday as in January is the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. That's a recognized federal holiday, and now we've decided to include that as a recognized city holiday. And so we're asking to amend the code of ordinances, which lists our city holidays in there to reflect that change.
Thank you. Any discussion?
If I remember correctly, this had a $11,000 impact on the budget for the overtime, basically.
That was the approximate cost.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Davidson and a second from Alderman Turner to approve Council Bill 78. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Council Bill 78 is approved and becomes Resolution 048. Council Bill 79.
Council Bill 79 is a resolution of the Board of Aldermen to approve amending the pay scale by increasing the minimum wage pay level by 0.25 to match the current minimum wage established by the state of Missouri, and moving the position of payroll clerk from level 2 to payroll and benefits clerk level 4, and moving the position of accounting specialist level 4 to assistant finance director level 6, and establish effective date.
And that would be Mr. Tholen.
Thank you. There are a couple of items in here. One of them is on our compensation plan. We have a level for our, what we refer to as part-time or seasonal employees that are minimum wage employees. With the impact of the minimum wage increase in the state of Missouri for next year, we need to amend our structure accordingly. We have to pay that minimum wage whether we amend our pay structure or not, because that's the law. But we still have to do it. So we wanted to make that change, and then we had two other items in there that would be reclassifications. One of them is the level, we have a payroll clerk at level 2, which was kind of a carryover from when we had a part-time payroll clerk in that position. And then when we had a full-time payroll clerk, they just stayed at that level. They do more than just the payroll, and so we're proposing to make that a payroll and benefits clerk at level 4. And we have an accounting specialist position at level 4, and we're proposing to move that to assistant finance director at level 6, specifically now because we have a vacancy in the finance director position that would give some sort of structure or hierarchy and chain of command in that department that we could refer people to, when we have utility customers that they want to talk to someone other than the utility clerk, there's someone they can talk to there, to move up, because we don't really have a full-time finance director or a full-time city administrator right now. Neither of these would have an impact on the salary that the person, the incumbent in those positions is making it. So it's not a money change, it's just a change of title and recognition, but it does allow for future growth in those positions if that's deemed appropriate. So there are 3 things in here. One is changing their minimum wage to reflect the change in state law, and the other 2 are changing those 2 making those 2 position reclassifications.
But they don't have a fiscal impact
There's no-
at this point in time.
There's no monetary impact on next year's budget either.
I'm just curious, so is the pay levels, if they go 2, 4, 6, or is there a 3 and a 5 in there too?
There's a 3 and 4, 5, yeah, there's.
I just didn't know what the difference in classifications were.
I think that's following the memo that explains that. There should be a chart of that structure. Any other questions?
Are we at some time going to review all?
Yes, they haven't been done for quite some time, so we'll be reviewing all those classifications.
Thank you.
And for your information, I believe the last time we did that in a general sense would have been about 12 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, didn't you think it's there?
So it's time.
So it's time, yeah.
If there's no more discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Thank you. I have a motion from Alderman Dorhoff with a second from Alderman Reese to approve Council Bill 79. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Council Bill 79 is approved and becomes Resolution R049. Committee reports. Alderman Turner.
None? Started with you.
Alderman Davidson.
Nothing, thank you.
Alderman Dickerson.
Nothing.
Alderman Miller.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Okay. Just a brief report on the Parks Department. Staff continues to work on their prairie grass project at the city park. Staff also continues to work with the dog park committee, and we have raised approximately $34,500 so far, unless that's went up, Chris.
It's 35,000 now.
35,000, all right. This month in December, the annual membership drive is on for the community center, as it is every year, which includes a 10% off for paid in full. Recreation, we have 165 registered for youth basketball, which exceeds the numbers from last year and the budget. We've got 385 group fitness registrations across 10 classes. Fall baseball has concluded, had 148 participants, an increase of over 34 from last year. Flag football has concluded as well, had over 50 participants, and it's now over. And membership is currently still in excess of 4,200 people per month, so we're doing well. And happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you. Alderman Reese.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be able to fly into North Kent during the Kansas City Airport this afternoon. And as I drove down the highway and I had to pull off a couple of times for errands, but I was able to look at the streets and how much ice and snow was in the neighborhood. And when I got to Harrisonville, our streets, and we got the same amount of snow that those folks did, our streets were clear, they were easy to go on, and so again, we have to give a big shout out to our street department. They are absolutely tops. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Milner.
I would mimic the 2 over there with Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope your holidays are wonderful. Just wanted to thank Annie and everybody. We had our holiday store the same day as Christmas on the Square, and it was amazing as always. Wonderful kids. We'll do it again next year, and hopefully years coming up with the same time as the holiday store, or as the Christmas tree on the square. But as I came in town today, the road in front of my house, which is 7 on the way to Pleasant Hill, was not in real whippy shape. But as I hit our city streets, they were amazing. So, and there was actually a car off in front of the churches as I came through. It just slipped in. So thank you all for the staff who worked so diligently. Please give them our blessings and tell them they are just top notch.
Thank you. Alderman Dorhoff?
All I have is, hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well, I have a couple of comments before I pass it on to the city administrator. I wanted just to give you a report about Shop with a Cop. We had our target. Chief, you're in there. Come in here and give us an update. You can do this much better than
I don't want to steal your thunder, boss.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Shop with Scott was Saturday. It was wonderful. We get better every year. I think this year was not without its own challenges. I think Alderman Milner saw me with one of my challenges the other day. She could tell by my face, I'm sure, that there were some challenges, but we raised enough money where we invited almost 190 kids to our event, which is the most ever. Unfortunately, not all of them showed up, so we have many to carry over until next year. Wonderful experience. We had almost 80 officers there from other communities, and we had some teachers in there, and Daniel as well, but it went off without a hitch. We couldn't get the big blues this year, so we used the school buses, and we had the National Guard out there assisting us with packages, and the VIPs were there, as always, did a wonderful job. Just a huge event. It's becoming more and more community involved each year. The Elks have come to me today with a couple ideas for next year. We use their facility, and they would like to maybe provide some coats for some children when they walk through, and maybe some Christmas trees and things like that. So it's getting bigger and better every year, and I think I covered everything you wanted me to. So.
You did. Thank you, Chief.
Mayor, I'm sorry, can I interrupt you for just a minute?
Certainly.
I should have said this before. I had the opportunity to be involved, as I have been for many years, and a story that I want to tell. I told the chief this. This is how it impacts the kids. My first child was a 5-year-old kindergartner. Great kid. And he had an idea of things that he wanted. And as we walked around the corner, he looked down, and on the bottom shelf was a police car. And he said, I want that. And I said, why do you want that? He said, because I want something to remember you by. So if you don't think that these times with the kids touch the kids, but also the adults that are doing it, it does. And the second child I had wasn't a child, he was a 7th grader, and he asked me why I did it. And I told him that story, and it almost brought tears to his eyes, and he was a 7th grader. So that just gives you a little idea how it touches those in the community and outside the community. We have that opportunity to do it. The chief and the VIPs have been instrumental in that for years, and so I thank him and have him thank the opportunity to be a part of it. So thank you, man.
And I think it's appropriate, since it's Christmas time, to talk about Shop with a Cop. And I have a couple of other people I want to just recognize. Obi Carl's sitting out there in the audience. He's very instrumental in Elks. And so we want to thank you. You were there that day on Saturday. I saw you. So thank you, and thank the Elks again for all that they do for us. My husband Jerry's out in the audience. He's a VIPS. He was at the registration table. And the story that he brought home to me was that right at the very end, the last person in the door was a mom with 3 kids. And she was very frantic because she was late arriving there, and she didn't know where to go. She was lost, and she was afraid that her kids were going to miss out on being able to go with Shop with a Cop. The bus had already left. So how were these kids going to get to Walmart? Well, there were 3 police officers there, and each police officer took one of those children in their squad car and drove them to Walmart so that they wouldn't miss out. Absolutely. I think law enforcement needs a round of applause from us. And I can't tell you, I mean, this is the 6th Shop with a Cop that we've done. And as the chief said, and as Alderman Davidson said, every year it gets better and better. There's not been a year that I've been out there for Shop with a Cop that somebody who's shopping in Walmart, not part of our project, but somebody who's shopping in Walmart hasn't come up to me and given me money for our next year's event because they're so touched by what they see. So Shop with a Cop is probably one of the things that's nearest and dearest to my heart. So thank you to everybody who had a part in making it successful for the kids. Michael, City Administrator report. Try and top that.
Take my comments about Shop with a Cop off of here, because that's already been covered. Thanks again to all who participated. And also, of course, the comments about the snow removal and the street maintenance. And as another person that travels and comes here and sees other communities and the highways in between, it does make a difference how hard you hit it, how long you work at it. It really shows. I think people in town maybe take some of that for granted sometimes. If you don't get the chance to get out and see how the other half live, well, it does make a difference. I wanted to remind people that we will be closed for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day between now and our next meeting. And then I also wanted to call out that we have our second meeting in January would fall on the third Monday of January, which now is a holiday. And it would be our recommendation that we move that meeting to Tuesday, which would be our standard practice if we have a board meeting that falls on a Monday holiday. And if that's the board's desire, we would move that meeting to the 21st, January 21st, Tuesday. And we can do our scheduling then and get that correct for you.
Everybody okay with that? Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Okay. Same time, same station.
Same time, same station.
And then finally, again, happy holidays to all.
You have the municipal court monthly report in your packet. Questions from the media? Mr. Minnick, thank you so much for being here. You look marvelous.
You look good.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll tell you what, since you guys talked about the street department, who've done a fine job, and talked about the police did a fine job, I want to talk about the EMS staff, because there was a fine young lady there that was not going to let me stay at home. That I was having a heart event, it was not muscle pain, and she saved my life. So I'm very thankful to the EMS staff, timely, professional, and I'm sitting here 3 weeks later, so I appreciate it. A couple questions. During the pay thing, you said it would not affect the people currently in those positions. Are they already being paid at the higher rate, or do they not get the raise, or how is that?
They're in a range, and the reclassification from a level 2 to a level 4 still includes that same salary of the range.
Okay,
So
so they're going from the top of one range to the bottom of another range.
it's not exactly top to bottom, but it's from a higher end to a lower end in the range. So yeah, you got the concept right.
Okay. And my other one is A is removed from the agenda. Exactly what does that mean?
It's being tabled to our next meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Item number 9.
What's it say? Adjourn to executive session. I'm so sorry. I am so not here tonight. Adjourn to executive session pursuant to 610-021, hiring, firing, and discipline of employees.
I have a
I made a
motion.
motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Turner. Roll call, please.
Alderman Dorhoff.
Aye.
Alderman Miller.
Aye.
Alderman Dickerson.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
And Alderman Davidson.
Aye.
Thank you. We're adjourned to executive session.